This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
It's time, baby, to talk to my guy, Todd Archer, as the Miami Dolphins get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And my man, of course, has been covering the Dallas Cowboys for ESPN NFL Nation since 1997, covering the NFL, covering Cowboys. Has it been, 15 years now since you left us?
A lot longer than that. You are
Really?
getting old.
It's been longer? Shit, dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
since 2003, been covering the Cowboys.
Wow, it's 20 years already, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Time flies, man. Time flies.
Jesus, man. How you been,
Still got
bro?
Perk, though. You still got Perk. Still got Perk kicking around there for you.
Okay. Yes. How's the family? Everything good, man?
Everybody's good. Yeah. My oldest, who was born when we lived down there, is now a senior in college. So, like we were saying, man, it goes fast.
Yeah, man. No, mine is 24 years old, and she's a teacher now, and it's like, holy crap, dude! It's amazing how.
And you still act like you're 24, so this is
yes.
great.
I will always act that way. You know me. I don't have any plans on growing up, my brother. And and by the way, this allows me to stay that way too. By the way, so it's as I told you, that the ultimate freedom the last 3 years has been just absolutely awesome, dude. I can't beat that. But anyway, all right, let's get to it, man. This is an interesting game because I kind of call it the fraud bowl because Dallas always gets hyped up. They don't live up to it. Miami's kind of lived up the same thing. They get hyped, whatever, never live up to it. And it's almost like the team that walks away with a loss, brother, is going to walk away with a lot of pain in the process because they're going to say same old Cowboys or same old Dolphins. That's kind of the narrative that follows this matchup, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it would be a lot louder with it saying same old Cowboys. Because it's been the same old Cowboys for a lot longer than the same old Dolphins and the national impact of all that stuff. But you're right. I mean, the Dolphins haven't beaten a team with a winning record?
No.
This season. The Cowboys have beaten two teams with a winning record when they played them, and one of them was the 1-0 Jets coming in here after losing Aaron Rodgers in week 1, and the other one was Philly a couple of weeks ago. So for the Cowboys, they're two different teams, home and on the road. On the road, they're 3-4. They're averaging 18.2 fewer yards per game on the road. And I unearthed this one too. No Cowboys team has gone to a Super Bowl with a losing road record during a season. So you lose this one, the best you can be is 4-5 on the road.
What's the Dak thing? So you tell me, because obviously the guy can play the game. The guy puts up numbers, but then we get the whole label, you got to get it done in the key moments and big moments. There's not enough of those for Dak in playoff type situations. Is it the same, by the way? And Tua's kind of building up his resume, and everybody's putting that, target on him. Hey, you got to start beating these kind of teams, the Cowboys and the Ravens, and you got to get over the hump of the Bills before you're respected as that franchise guy. How much does Dak have to go through that stuff still in Dallas?
Oh, it's not just Dallas; it's everywhere.
I know, but
but the last time I was on with you, Big O, we probably talked about how Dak has to be Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach, and until he does what those guys done, he's going to answer questions or have to answer questions about it. And Tony Romo was a very good quarterback for a long period of time. Never got it done. Danny White, 3 straight NFC championship games after replacing Staubach, doesn't get any credit. And Dak is at the stage now where you've gone to the divisional rounds. You've got the big contract. You've won a lot of regular season games. The notion that he's not won big games is a joke to me. He's won plenty of big games. He's not won the biggest game that he's had to play, right? Losing in the divisional round last year, San Francisco, Rams a few years ago, Niners in the wild card round 2 years ago. So, until he does it, there's always going to be questions. And that's life in the big leagues, man. This is what you sign up for.
The Dolphins can do something, Todd, that I haven't seen since I was a child. They can actually run the ball.
You're still a child.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about mentally, not physically.
Okay, all right.
Mentally, let's leave that part out. But, physically, when I was a child, they could run the hell out of the ball as much as they wanted to in the 70s. It's not something that they've been able to do for decades now. Mike McDaniel situationally will piss us off at times because he'll, excuse me, he'll go away from something that actually works, which is frustrating. When Marino did it, we understood why he was dumping the running game because it was all on his arm. But in this case, it's frustrating at times. But if Miami sticks to the run, how much can that be a problem for the Cowboys this year?
I don't know why you've just overlooked the Lamar Smith era of the Cowboys, of the Dolphins when I was covering them. I mean, they ran the ball then too. What are we doing, Big O? No, look, last week Buffalo ran for 266 yards against them. They missed 12 tackles. It's the most missed tackles they've had in a game this year. There's questions about the Cowboys defense because this is their Achilles heel. It's been their Achilles heel going on years. That the way to beat them is to run it and pound it on them. Mike McCarthy's saying this week that Miami stresses the edge of defense better than any offense he's seen in a long, long time. Dan Quinn's talking about how they have to build a wall and make sure that they don't get outside. Well, they can beat you up inside pretty good too. But I'll come back to this. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to stop the run, but when they struggled against Arizona in week 3, 222 yards, the next week they gave up 50 some odd yards rushing. The San Francisco game, they gave up 170 yards rushing. They gave up 50 yards rushing or so in the next game. They've responded when they've been challenged on the run game. Now, a big part of that is their offense is scoring a lot of points and helping that run defense, because if you want to run on you and you're down 17-0, God bless you. Good luck with that. Right. I think this is a true complementary football team where they need the offense to put up points because that helps the defense play its best and do what it does best.
How bad has it been the last couple of weeks with the losses?
Well, it's just loss. Maybe the Buffalo they won 6 in a row going into the Buffalo game.
Yeah, the Buffalo game, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a same old Cowboys kind of story, right? And can't beat a good team. It can't beat a good team on the road. And that again, all fair questions. And that it was funny. We talked to guys in the locker room today. Have you figured it out? Well, I don't know how they're going to know the answer until they get to Sunday. But it really comes down to this: they got to play better. There's no magic formula out there. It's play better. And they're looking at this as a playoff type game, a statement type game, for probably a lot of the same reasons why the Dolphins looking at it the same way from their perspective and what it can mean to their season and not just the 17 regular season games, but what they might be able to do in the playoffs.
Where you been on the Tua discussion?
Man, I'm going to quote Parcells. I'm up to my own ass and alligators down here to worry about Tua. So, no offense. Like I got to worry about Dak Prescott.
Do you think he can play in this league? Do you think he can be a hell of a quarterback in this league? Because I personally think he's a pure passer, bro. I think he's a fantastic passer. I really do. I think
he's a good player, and like all this, and Dak gets knocked about it too, and Purdy's getting knocked about. It's like, oh, look what he has around him. That's his fault. Like, why is that his fault?
I don't. You know what pisses me off about that? People take for granted consistency, and I don't think people appreciate a quarterback that consistently delivers the ball on time, on target. Leading the receiver, ball placement, all those things. People have to stop picking on Brock Purdy, bro. What he's doing, not everybody can do, because every decision he makes is usually the right decision. Yeah. Every throw he makes is nearly perfect. Brother, that's what elite quarterbacks do. That's all you got to. It's not about you running 100 miles an hour. It's not about you throwing it out of the stadium. But the guy that can, this is why Brady and Manning and Breeze and all these guys were elite, because the ball was there every single time, on target, leading the receiver, away from the defender. Brother, that's what an elite passer is.
And that's what Dak has done here. No one really wants to say that, because all they think of is last year he had 15 picks and in 12 games and tied for the league lead. And they thought that's what he was. However, when you look at his career, he's not been a big turnover guy, a high interception guy, and he's reverted back to the mean this year of what he is. And he and Mike McCarthy have done a great job of combining what McCarthy wants in a West Coast scheme and what the Cowboys have done successfully here for a number of years offensively, and Dak's had the best year of his career. And now for both these guys, it comes down to what do you do when it matters most?
The clutch moment.
Right. And Dak's not played well in the playoff losses the last 2 years to San Francisco. And honestly, Big O, like entering this season, none of this stuff mattered for the Cowboys. I mean, it obviously would have mattered if they didn't make the playoffs, but now they're in. Everything about the Cowboys 2023 was what they did beyond January 7th and 8th, the last game of the regular season, and what they do in the playoffs. That's all that's going to matter for this team, for this quarterback, and for this head coach.
What happens, Todd? Tell us on Sunday. Let's go. You got the crystal ball. How you see this game working out?
Yeah, this is when you sound like the complete homer on what I'm about to say. The Cowboys are the only team that have not lost consecutive games the last 2 seasons in the NFL. They do a good job of bouncing back. And maybe I'm giving the defense too much credit, but I think the Cowboys will get back to moving the ball much better than he obviously did against Buffalo. And I think this is a great high-scoring game that we will all be entertained, and Cowboys lead with a win, and then you see what Philadelphia does if they have a chance in the division.
How are they as a grass team?
They play on turf, so they're usually a better turf team.
Yeah, that's why they're really good on turf. Actually, that's why.
But that grass is like, it's not like you guys are playing in a hayfield. Like
no, not at all.
That's
it is a change. It is a change. The heat, the humidity, the grass. You've been here. You know, it becomes a different game in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter if it's a little muggy.
I will. That is all true. That has nothing to do with grass. But I will say the Cowboys have the same grass on their practice fields that Miami has at Hard Rock Stadium. Okay. So the grass won't be a factor. How about that for a stat there?
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Follow him on Twitter at Todd Archer. Todd, as always, appreciate you, my brother. Have a terrific Christmas. Enjoy the family out there and enjoy the football, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, O. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There you go. The great Todd Archer, man. Good people, and we appreciate him taking some time to talk a little Dolphins and a little Cowboys.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.